A warm welcome to everyone. I'm Rena, a psychology faculty at Unique Institute of Behavioral Sciences. And today, we all are being connected here through this webinar so that we can have more insight about how can you prepare better in psychology for your UGC NET examination. Through this webinar, you'll get more information regarding how can you make most of your preparation time, how can you actually build strong hold on the core concepts, how can you utilize your previous year question papers knowledge, certain important tips to cater the needs of paper 1 as well, what should be revised and how that revision could be done. We'll also tell you the time management strategy to complete your online exam, and of course there are a few myth busters, and finally the live doubt session. Also, one more important point here to be mentioned is conceptual introduction for the new topics. As you know, according to our new syllabus, Unit 1, that is Emergence of Psychology, and Unit 10, that is Emerging Areas, are the two main topics which have recently been added in your syllabus. So, we'll introduce these topics conceptually so that you can have a brief knowledge or a conceptual background about how to deal with these units. Now let's begin with it. So let us continue. So we were discussing, in order to proceed with your preparation, first you need to know the qualifying marks. And paper 1 has like 50 questions into 2 marks each, that is 100 marks paper, and paper 2 is 100 into 2, that is 200 marks. And in order to qualify that, you need to score 40 marks out of 100 in paper 1 and 80 marks out of 200 in paper 2. So now I was saying that you do not need to confuse the term qualifying marks with your cutoff marks. These both terms are different. So here the term qualifying marks means that your exam paper or your answer sheet will only be acknowledged and considered for further cutoff only if you will get 40 marks in paper 1 and 80 marks for paper 2. So this is the basic eligibility criteria in order you want your paper to be checked further or to be considered or acknowledged further for the assistant professorship or JRF, right? And other category, like instead of journal, they do have certain relaxation. So they have like 35 marks out of 100 and 70 marks out of 200 as their basic eligible qualifying marks criteria. Okay, now the second thing is how such like your basic cutoff is calculated. So what UGC NET do is they only considered 6% of all the candidates. Okay, 6% of candidates to be selected for your assistant associate professorship. Okay, and then only those top 6% is awarded NET. That means they become eligible as an assistant professor. But if you are aiming at JRF, okay, then that JRF is basically a certain number of candidates who are selected like among these 6%, the top high rankers among these 6%. Okay, but don't worry, this is not as difficult as seems, but certain things you should know about. Now we come to the cutoff. Like one must look at the previous year cutoffs to set your goals or criteria, like I did. When I cleared JRF, so I initially studied the cutoff, like what is the pattern of cutoff, so that I can like mark my goal. How much should I work or how much should I score? So here you can see, like if we talk about July 2018 exam, which actually I cleared, so the cutoff was 64.67 this was in percentage. 64.67% for, this is for JRF, and this is one is for net, that is for assistant professorship, that is 56. So there is a like approximately 10 unit difference between JRF and net. So it depends at what you are aiming at. Are you aiming at net, or are you aiming at both net and JRF, right? So from this table you can study the pattern, like if one belongs to other category, then there is certain relaxation, like then net 56, then 49, then 46. So there is certain relaxation. Now if I talk about just 1 year before, like November 2017, so at that time JRF cutoff was 27.29 and net cutoff was 54.86. So now compare it, like July 18 has 2%, 56 here, 54 here, 2% more. So there is a fluctuation. The cutoff is being enhanced by year. Now if we try to move further, in December 2018, at that time the cutoff was 62.67 for JRF and 56 again for net. So this is like quite equivalent with the July month of 2018. Okay, now consider 19 June 2019. So this is very recent one. The cutoff was 65.33 and 57.33 for net. So which basically exceed the above one. Okay, so now this simply gives you a target that if you like if you are aiming at net only, and still now 57 is the upper limit, so you can make a goal at 60%, like you need to score 60%. Okay, now 60% means how many marks? 3% of 300. So that will be 180 marks out of 300, which is not that difficult. You can see that you need to score 180 out of 300. Okay, and you can be like qualified with your net exam with flying colors. But if you're aiming at JRF, then the upper limit is being 65 point something. So you can consider for your own self like somewhere around 67% or 68%. Then the criteria would be again 67% into 300, that is okay. So it will be somewhere around this, like 200. So this helps you in setting up your goal. That means approximately if you are aiming to score 200 out of 300, then no one can stop you from clearing your net. So you need to focus that you have to be very sure of 100 questions out of 150 questions. Okay, you have total 50 plus 100, that is 150 questions, and if you target on answering out of these 150 100 questions correctly, then you can be like you can easily crack your goal.